Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Bernadine Dykes, and I am an MBA Admissions Advisor for Solomon Admissions Consulting. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of students and applicants who are interested in MBA programs, and I myself have an MBA from one of the top tier programs in the US. I was asked to speak with you today about what really makes an online MBA program a truly elite program. What makes it elite and why? So let's start from there. First, let's talk about what it means to be an elite online MBA program. The first thing I'd like to tell you is that an elite MBA program should not be based on the modality of the MBA program, meaning you shouldn't base the reputation or the eliteness of an MBA program based on whether or not the program is online or face-to-face or some sort of hybrid format. You really should base the reputation of the MBA program on the following things. One, what's the overall brand and reputation of the university? Number two, what's the quality of the faculty? Are the faculty all PhDs with some business expertise? I would encourage anyone and everyone, if you're considering an MBA program, again, whether it's online or not, to look very closely at the faculty profiles of the individuals who will be teaching in the MBA programs. What are their credentials? Where did they get their PhDs? Do they have expertise in business? Three, I'd also encourage you to consider the career services support that you have through the program. Career services is important because most MBA students are looking for an MBA to help them transition to a different career or perhaps to a different industry. They may be trying to use the MBA as a way to move up in their organization. And so a lot of times students need support from career services in order to reach those goals. So take a very close look at the career services support of the MBA program. Are there people there who have the training and the expertise to help you reach the career goals or make the transitions that you're trying to make in your career? And in particular, look at those individuals. Do they have expertise in business? Have they spent a lot of time coaching and working with working professionals and can help those individuals make really good career decisions and to move up or again, to transition in their careers? So that's that. The other thing is, what is the strength of the alumni network? That's also an important component of a really good MBA program. I would encourage any student to always talk to current alum of an MBA program. What are those individuals doing? What do they have to say about the program in terms of the career services, the faculty, the training that they received? Are they the individuals who, when you think about where you'd like to be a few years after you've completed your MBA program, are they in those sorts of organizations and in those sorts of positions? Those are the people who you want to talk to and find out what's it really like to be a part of that MBA program and what are the prospects for getting a meaningful career opportunity once you graduate. So those are the things that are really important in defining not only just an elite online program, but just any MBA program. The other thing I would also add is around accreditation. Accreditation is also important. Most of the really good online MBA programs are accredited by the AACSB. So I would also encourage you to look at the AACSB website. They have a listing of all of their accredited schools on their website. Now, let's talk for a few minutes about rankings and the rankings of online MBA programs. Clearly, there are lots of rankings in the marketplace, and I look at rankings as shortcuts. What do I mean is that rankings allow individuals to take a large amount of information and dwindle it down to just a few key components. It allows you to shorten the amount of time that you would need to process what is a lot of information out there about MBA programs and online MBA programs in particular. So certainly, online rankings of online MBA programs or MBA programs in general are certainly very helpful because they can allow you to spend time looking at the things that I spoke about earlier. Again, talking to alumni, looking at the faculty profiles, please visit the school, understand the career services support and other sorts of aspects of the MBA program that may be important to you. But certainly when you take a look at the online MBA rankings, certainly there are some that stand out. Clearly, programs like Indiana, University of Florida, Chapel Hill, the University of Michigan, Southern Cal, these are all top tier programs, and you can find them listed on any MBA ranking profile. Now, again, what makes these programs stand out? Again, it goes back to the things we talked about, the faculty, the career support, etc. They also may stand out for a couple of other things. Online MBA programs are designed to give students a lot of flexibility in terms of how the content is delivered. So some online MBA programs are completely asynchronous. They're completely online, and students work by themselves, reading the material or cases and doing assignments. There are other programs that are what we call live synchronous. Those are the programs in which there is some completely asynchronous, where students work independently on their own, but then students come together via Zoom or Google Meets or whatever to do work in teams, or perhaps hear a lecture or engage in some other type of experience. Those, what we call live synchronous components, are also built into a program. So a program can be completely online. It could be could have some live synchronous components. The idea is that the online program is designed to give, the working professional flexibility, because a lot of times working professionals have not only work responsibilities, they may have childcare responsibilities or elder care responsibilities. They may have a lot of travel, whatever it is. So the online program is designed to give you a lot of flexibility. So that's one of the key things in particular about online MBA programs, in addition to the other things that I mentioned. So you want to pay attention to. How flexible is the program? How structured are the courses? How often will you meet if there's a live synchronous component? Do you have to meet weekly, bi-weekly? Do you have to come face-to-face at all? Sometimes there are some face-to-face experiences, even with the online program, because they want to give, universities often still want to give students touch points or opportunities to connect with each other and to connect with the university in a face-to-face way. So you want to look very closely at the time commitment that you'll need to complete the courses if it's asynchronous. Are you going to be taking one course at a time, two courses at a time? What's the duration of the courses? Are they 8 weeks? Are they 10 weeks? Are there 16 weeks? And given all that, what's the real duration of this online program? Will it take you a year? Will it take you 2 years? And if you decide to stop out of the program, what are the policies around that? Can you get back in? When can you get back in? What's that process? What's that going to look like? So you need to look very closely at the structure of the online program, asynchronous, live synchronous, some combination of that. Look at the duration. Again, think about how many courses you plan to take, and then all of that also factors into the cost of the program as well. So you want to take a close look at how much is the program really going to cost me? Because again, in addition to the cost of the courses, a lot of times university will build in some other costs as well. So for example, there may be some sort of experiential learning opportunity in some foreign country that may take place for a week. You have to factor that in. Or again, if there's some sort of face-to-face component of the program and you have to fly to campus from somewhere, you have to factor that in, the cost of the travel, the hotel, the meals, etc., etc. So please consider all of that when you're looking at an online program. Yes, you've got to pay for the course, and the course is, but there are also other components that may also be cost that you will incur as part of being a student in the program. The other aspect of online MBA programs is the career outcomes and the ROI. And in particular, are employers really concerned about whether or not an MBA program is online or not? My answer is, and you can certainly, I would encourage you to talk to other employers, My answer is no. I don't think they are particularly concerned about whether an MBA program is online or hybrid or some combination. Again, I think employers are looking at the strength of the program. Again, the reputation of the school, the quality, those sorts of things. They want to know, do students who come out of that program, are those students prepared to lead and manage in organizations? What's the reputation of that school? And it really doesn't matter, I think, a whole lot whether or not it's online or not. They're going to look primarily at the reputation of that program. They may also look to see if the program is accredited by the AACSB. So those are things that I think are more important to employers and whether or not the program is online or not. And again, in terms of the ROI, return on investment, that's certainly a big issue in higher ed. These days, students want to know, am I going to get a return on the amount of time and money that I put into the MBA program? I can certainly say for myself that yes, my MBA was well worth the 2 years I went during a time where it was, primarily the 2-year face-to-face. The traditional mode was the primary mode in which MBA programs was delivered, and I went through that route. And I certainly believe it paid off for me professionally and financially. But you'll have to assess that for yourself. Again, it goes back to the cost. How long is it really going to take you to get through the program? How many credit hours do you need to complete in order to earn the MBA? Some online MBAs may be only 30 credit hours, some may be 36, some may be 40. You have to factor that in because most of the time universities price the online MBA program based on the number of credit hours. So how many credit hours do you need to take? How much is that going to cost you? And again, you have to factor in those other things. Are there situations where you may need to fly to campus or some face-to-face experience? Maybe there's some opportunity for networking that may be a part of even the online program. Again, sometimes universities want to offer those touch points just because we often find that even in an online MBA program, students still want to have just an opportunity to come together for some sort of experience. And you'll need to find out what those things are and how much those things are going to add to the cost of the program. And then you factor that in. Is it worth it to you? Is there a return on the investment? The other piece of the return on the investment conversation is around, what sort of a salary are you going to expect earning an MBA from a particular program? Again, this goes back to getting some good information from the Career Services Center at the MBA program, talking to alumni, asking some some uncomfortable questions perhaps around compensation and what you can expect given your professional background and the MBA you're going to receive from this school. What's the range, the salary range that you can expect given your experience in this MBA program? You couple that with the cost of the program, and that's where you can do your ROI calculation. And I do think it's a meaningful calculation to think about how much is the program going to cost? Is it worth it to me? And I encourage all of you to have that conversation with yourself, your family, and your friends before you embark on an online MBA program or any sort of program. Another piece of deciding on a really good MBA program, in addition to flexibility and the structure, is specialization. Many MBA programs will have specializations such as data analytics or digital marketing or sustainability. If you have an interest in a particular industry or a particular knowledge base that you're searching for, that also can be a factor for you to consider in terms of which MBA program you want to choose. And again, look very closely at the types of courses that are being offered in that particular specialization. And again, what are the career opportunities that may be available to you if you choose a particular specialization? My final thing is, certainly make sure whatever online program you decide to choose, make sure it just in general aligns with your goals. Given the reputation of the school, the strength of the career services, the faculty, the cost. Does all of that line up with where you are trying to go? And if that is the case, then certainly that's an online program that you want to pursue. And sometimes you'll have to do your research to find out whether this program aligns with your goals and interests. Again, talk to the faculty, talk to alumni, talk to some employers that may have hired some of the alum from the prospective school. Make sure you really understand the program and what you're getting yourself into before you decide to apply, and certainly before you decide to enroll. So you'll have to do some homework. It will be worthwhile because you will be a much more informed student and hopefully get a much better outcome and have a better experience in your MBA program. Now, in terms of things that you should, some red flags, if you're looking at online programs, online MBA programs, I certainly would tend to stay away from programs that are not AACSB accredited. In general, the AACSB has accredited thousands of business schools. And so again, I would just take a look at that list. Again, that's just one piece of information, but certainly it is an important piece for you to consider. A couple of other things that I would also encourage you to consider. One, again, another red flag would be if there's very poor alumni support. If you reach out to alum and they are working in industries or companies, and it doesn't appear that they have meaningful employment, they've had career trajectories, that they're really leading and managing in some good organizations, that's a warning sign. And that's related to career support. If you talk to the Career Support Center or the MBA program, and it looks like they don't have connections to the industries that are of interest to you, or companies that are of interest to you, and they have no connections with those organizations, they have never placed a student in any of those organizations or industries that interest you, that's not a good sign. You need to look elsewhere. And again, if you can't identify alum who are doing the things that you're hoping to do with your MBA, and they can help you find someone, that's also not a good sign. Again, this goes back to doing some really good homework and understanding what you may be getting yourself into. So just some final thoughts. There are many online MBA programs in the marketplace. They're getting more plentiful all the time because, again, colleges and universities are looking for opportunities to offer flexible programs to working professionals, and online MBA programs certainly are designed to fit that need. Please, again, consider the other factors that we talked about in terms of evaluating the quality of an online program, the strength of the faculty, the strength of the career services, the alumni support, the other sort of experiential learning opportunities and touch points that the program may offer to you. As a reminder, if you are interested and need support, we are here to help you at Solomon Admissions Consulting. We can offer you guidance and direction as you try to figure out the MBA program that fits your career and personal needs. Thank you, and good luck to all of you.